Okay, for this video I'm going to show you guys how to do a forced carbonation setup. I'm going to give you a really quick tour of my kegerator first. These are my line ends. This little piece right there is called a shank. That holds the faucet and connects to your beer line. That's actually root beer in that one. There's nothing in that one, and that is my cranberry cream ale. The cranberry cream ale has been thoroughly chilled. Now that it's really cold, we're going to force carbonate it. You have to have the liquid that you're going to carbonate really cold. Temperature makes a really big difference. So I kind of got it carbonated last night, but it wasn't cold enough. I just wanted to try it, so I hooked it up. But we're going to, now that it's chilled overnight, we're really going to set it up. So I've got both of these. The light one is the root beer and the left one is my ale. And there's my tank with regulator. So for right now, I'm going to turn off when this lever is going with the line. That means it's on. I'm going to turn these two off on my manifold, so that's off. And I want to hook up a connection to that here in just a second. But for right now, all three of these are off. I'm going to turn my gas on. You saw the regulator move there. I'm going to go ahead and open it all the way up. And I actually want my pressure to be up there a pretty good ways. It's sitting at 30 right now. I'm going to dial that up. This is cold, so it's going to take a while. I'm going to dial that up to 40. And all these are shut off, so no, that 40 pounds is not actually going to the kegs right now. So that's dialed up to 40, and then I'm going to give the phone over to my wife, and I'm going to pull these out. Okay, normally, since this is a gas line, you're going to have the white hookup on it, which is the 2-pin for the pin lock instead of the ball lock. You'll have one of those, and that goes in the gas side of your keg, which would be, if it's facing away from me as it should, would be that side. This time for forced carbonation, what we're going to do is, and this is why the quick disconnects are so important, is we're going to put a liquid on this, just like that. We're going to connect gas to the liquid right there. And you're going to be able to hear this when I turn the gas on. So I'm making the connection. Now I'm going to turn the gas on, and you should hear it pressurize. What's happening is it's forcing gas down that long tube through the beer. It's coming out at the very bottom, and it's forcing that gas to bubble up. So what we're going to do is we're going to agitate this. A lot of folks advocate sitting it on your lap in a recliner or something and just rocking it back and forth, but I found a much more effective way to do that. So what we're going to do is keep this connection. You want to keep this on because you want to keep pressure on your gas. We're going to roll this on the floor. We're going to keep that tube on the bottom because we want it to bubble through when it feeds more gas into the system. And I'm going to put my foot on it, and I'm going to make really short strokes rocking it, just like that. And I don't know if you can hear it, but as you rock it, the CO2 tank is feeding more gas into the beer, because as that beer, or as the CO2 bubbles through this really cold liquid that's agitated, that CO2 is going into solution. So it's carbonating even more than it was, which it wasn't all that carbonated to begin with. Don't know if you can hear that, but if I stop, it's no longer feeding gas in because I'm not agitating it. It's not putting any more in solution. But all I have to do is start agitating again, and you want really short strokes. You want a violent agitation going on within that keg. You don't want to do long strokes like that. They'll work, but you're not getting nearly the liquid agitation you should, so you want really, really short strokes, just like that. And if you do this with your foot, just standing there watching TV or leaning against the counter or something like that, it doesn't really take all that long. Now normally you only push, you'll push liquid out, and your gas pressure should be between 10 and 15, somewhere in that range. Notice I cranked the gas pressure up on this to force more CO2 into solution. I cranked it up to 40. I'm going to keep doing this for a few minutes, and then I'm going to put this setup this keg back in, and we're going to pull a draft from the carbonated beer. Okay, I don't hear that sound is really diminished, which tells me that it's taken almost as much CO2 as it's going to take for right now. So I'm going to stop. This is important. I'm going to stop, pick up my keg. I'm going to pull this off. You can leave that on if you want, it's up to you. But I'm going to take a gas side connection, just like that. If you had a relief valve, you could just hit the relief valve, but I don't. So I'm taking the gas connection, and I'm going to vent all the excess pressure from in here, because we don't want to try to serve this at 40 psi. So we got a little bit of, as soon as you pulled that head, or all that extra pressure off, it foamed up inside the keg. So all that extra headspace, or sorry, all that extra pressure inside the keg is gone. It's got some pressure because I didn't vent all of it. I'm going to connect this back up to my gas setup. Maybe. Now, I'm going to bleed this, put it back down to 10 psi, and then hook up my beer line again. It's black, so liquid connection goes into the side with the tube because it's got 3. I'm going to connect, and there's actually enough pressure in here now to serve, but I want to go ahead and hook up my lines and everything so we're all copacetic again. So this needs to go on the gas side, and this connection is actually off if you look at the manifold. So it's not going to pressurize it just this second. Okay, so you can't see it from there, but I've got everything hooked back up, equalized the pressure, and dialed the pressure on the system back down to 10 psi where it should be. So this is hooked up now. This is going to foam a lot at first until that pressure equalizes inside, and it's nothing but beer. But you'll notice there's definitely carbonation present. Once that all comes down to temperature, that foam will go away, and we will have nothing but beautiful beer, and you won't have a ridiculous head like that. So I'm going to let that happen and let everything equalize in there. And you can see there's actual beer in there. It's just covered by that giant head. And then when that equalizes, we'll do another pull from that tap, and you can see. Okay, I ended up having to bleed this twice because I overcarbonated it, and I let it sit for 24 hours just to let everything equalize again. Apparently 40 psi, and agitating it for that long is a lot of carbonation. But I bled it completely dry, let it sit for about 2 hours, or I bled the keg so there was no pressure on it. Let it sit for 2 or 3 hours, and then I just put the 10 psi back on it, and this is just about the perfect level of carbonation for this. So keep in mind for the color, it's a cranberry cream ale. I'm using my Sam Adams glass. When you pull this, you want to do a firm pull initially for the tap. You want to open it wide fast all at the same time. You don't want to gradually pull it. So you want to keep your glass
Use the other hand. Pull.
Oh. You want to keep your glass not touching the tap, but right underneath it, and you want to keep it at an angle, and then as you fill up, you get to about halfway, you want to straighten it up, and that'll give you a head, and then you stop it. So here I go. See, that is, I really need to get a drip pan here. That is just about a perfect pour. You can't ask for much more than that. So the taste on this is just absolutely phenomenal. The recipe's up on the Simple Home Brewing website. You can download it in PDF, or you can get the Beersmith version of the recipe for free. So I really dig it. That's it.